refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah, refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another. I did not mean to do that. For another episode. And in this episode, we're going to talk about what happened in week 8 this week. So this week in college football. Now, before I do that, I would like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. Now, a couple things before I talk about the shows. One, I do have a couple of new shorts out, so please listen to them if you haven't. Comment. I like to hear what y'all opinions are too. You know what I'm saying? I like to interact with y'all, see how y'all feel. And that's it. Like, comment. Let me know how you feeling. So I wanted to talk about that. I do want to talk about my record. Now, Saturday was love. If you've seen the show before Saturday morning, my record was 2-6. The weekday absolutely smoked me, man. Weekday college conference USA, I think I went 1-4. Then I went 1-1 on Friday night. I knew I should have took Minnesota. We'll talk about that later. So to work my record to 9-9, going 7-3 Saturday was a good feeling. Because 2-6 sucked, but hey, man, we worked it to a good record, so I can't complain about that. Now let's talk about the shows on the network. We have the main show featuring Dave and Tomo and Joe, which is live every Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 8:30ish. Now I know what you're saying, Carl. This is this week in college football, week 8. You got the main show at 7, but you got Conference USA, weekday Conference USA today too. Relax, the show's already written up. And it will be live around 6:15. So don't worry, I got y'all covered. Even though you probably don't want to listen to me right now for that after last week, but we're gonna try to bounce back. Next, we got Unfazed going live tonight. Man, oh man, I can't wait for Unfazed tonight. Both Joe and AJ suffering humble losses. 2 division foes. I'm sorry. I'm remembering Giants, Eagles, like they didn't just play the Vikings on Sunday. I am wrong. AJ got the dub. He was actually at the game. They played the Vikings. I'm remembering the Giants game. That happened almost 2 weeks ago. That's how crazy time flies. Shout out to him. I'm excited to see what he says to Joe, who suffered a humble loss Sunday right after the Eagles won. So I'm excited for that one. Next, we have BWT. Teddy is sick as the Dodgers take on the Blue Jays in the World Series. I know he's sick. All I got to say is a word I can't say on the show or the airways. You, Josh Naylor. It's always you that's involved in some BS. He's going to jump at the ball on purpose to try to stop a double play, and it happened anyway. That's what you get. I'm so glad. I was born in Seattle, so I kind of like root for Seattle teams. I'm so glad the Mariners are gone because of him. I actually probably would have rooted for them to win if he wasn't on the team. So, good for him. Next, we have Dave's Dollhouse highlights and lowlights of sport. We got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Week 7 is now upon us. Week 6 is now over. So make sure you listen in to Coach for your waiver wires and tidbits of that nature. Next, we have RBO, Real Ballers Only, NBA show featuring Vaughn. Next, we got the Joe Jordan show. I don't know if he went live this morning. I don't think he did, but be on the lookout for it. I'm pretty sure it's coming soon. So make sure you look out for the Joe Jordan Show as I go look to see if he went live today. I don't think he did. I didn't see anything on my subscriptions about him going live. No, he did not. So when he does go live, make sure you check that out. We have, I think, last but not least, in the red corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo boxing episode. Whenever we have big boxing matches or any boxing matches coming up, be on the lookout for them. So they will talk about them, give you their predictions, things like that. And I believe that's all the shows we have on the network. So please like, comment, share, subscribe to those shows as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now let's hop right in. Yes, we did. CTC week 8 had some crazy action. It definitely did. Shout out to your boys, man. That's my brother for the y'all don't know. He asked me when the commercial came up last Sunday, not the Sunday that just passed, the Sunday before that, when the commercial came up for Ohio State, Wisconsin. He was like, "Who you got?" I'm like, "Bro, y'all like what? This game not even gonna be close." And they won 34-0. So shout out to Ohio State for remaining undefeated and remaining the number 1 seed. Even though I don't like y'all boys, I can't wait for y'all to lose a game. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I need y'all to lose one just for me. Anyway, as long as y'all don't win the natty, I'm cool. But anyway, let's get into these upsets. And we're going to start with a team that I actually said should be number 1. I said these games would only be close, but I think the defense with Miami this year will be the difference, and I don't think it'll be as close. And I was wrong. Louisville upsets number 2 Miami at the time, 24-21 on Friday night. Friday night had 2 upsets. So this is the first one. It started first. So I'm talking about it first. Louisville started off hot. They normally start slow, and I thought with this Miami defense, it'll be another slow start. But no, the Louisville Cardinals scored 2 touchdowns on their first 2 drives, including a 4th and 2 fake field goal in which they converted. Which I don't know what that Miami player was doing. He was celebrating like he stopped him. Bro, he still got the first down. Why are you celebrating? Anyway, they go on to score 2 touchdowns in the first 2 drives. Miami, however, did not. I don't think Miami scored a touchdown until late in the first half. So, yeah, fast start for Miami. Miami, Carson Beck, what a night to forget. 2 interceptions in each half. Now, one of them I don't believe was really his fault, but the last 2 for sure was his fault. He overthrew a deep ball one, just threw it right to him. And then another one, to me, he didn't even read the play out. He just snapped and threw a halfback wheel. Now, again, I will say this, and it was a phenomenal play by the defender. Don't get me wrong, but it looked like he didn't read it. He just looked, snap, it's kind of open, boom. And he got picked off. So definitely a night to forget if you're Carson Bate. I said Carson Bate. I was reading the comment. I got to pull up in a minute. Carson Beck, excuse me. Louisville starts the 4th quarter with a Chris Bell touchdown. Chris Bell, and I accidentally called Chris Bell Corey Brooks, who's currently on the Commanders on my show. So for those who caught it, I'm sorry. Chris Bell had a phenomenal game. He had a phenomenal game, caught a touchdown, start the 4th quarter. And I didn't think he was going to score. I thought, all right, cool, he got the first down. He might get a couple of yards. And then just kept running, and no Miami defender caught him, so that was a great play by him. But we got to talk, like I said, I talked about the last interception. To me, he didn't read the play. He just kind of looked like he's snapping through it because the halfback was semi-open. I mean, he's out the backfield. Nobody's going to cover him like that. But we got to talk about not only did that pick cost him the game, they were in field goal range when that pick occurred, and he threw the game away. The field goal went kind of like Mississippi State, Florida, which we're not talking about later on today. But they were in field goal range when it happened, man. They had the field goal secured, just could not make a mistake, and he made the mistake that cost them the game. Shout out Louisville for the win, though. Y'all know how I feel about Jeff Braun. I think he's one of the best coaches in college football. Not the best. Y'all heard, if you watched one of my shorts, who I think is the best in college football, but he's one of the best coaches in college football for sure. Purdue ain't even bouncing back since he's left. Purdue has looked terrible since Jeff Braun left. But yeah, great win for them. We move on to an upset that I wanted to pick. And I'll say this. I'll pull you behind the curtain a little bit. So after my show Friday, before the games, my brother texted me. He said, "You sound like you wanted to pick Minnesota." I said, man, I wanted to pick Minnesota so badly, but I was high on Nebraska in the offseason. So I'm going to pick Minnesota, but I wanted to pick Minnesota. So I'm going to pick Nebraska, but I wanted to pick Minnesota so badly. And Minnesota goes on to win 24-6. Dominant fashion, did not give up a single touchdown, gave up 2 field goals in the first half, and shut out Nebraska in the second half. Darius Taylor broke off a 71-yard run to score Minnesota's first touchdown. And I mean, in hindsight, that was all that needed to be done. But Minnesota did a great job of bending but not breaking in the first two quarters. I mean, second half, it was just a defensive performance. I think they had 9 quarterback sacks on the day on Dylan Raiola. Just a dominant performance defensively. Like I said, man, red zone, they did a really good job. And Minnesota's second touchdown to go 14-6, it felt like that was worth 50 points. It took all the life out of Nebraska. I felt like that was like the dagger. Even though it was a ton of time left, it just felt like a dagger because Nebraska offense couldn't get going because Minnesota D-line and defense was just so dominant. So just a dominant defensive win for the Golden Gophers. Sitting at 5-2, currently unranked. I'm kind of surprised about that, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised about a couple teams being unranked, but Poll Talk will be, on the Conference USA show. So, because it symbolizes a new week. So we'll talk about that then. But ultimately, a great win for Minnesota at home. Like I said, raucous crowd Friday night in Minnesota. Just got it done. Shout out to Darius Taylor. Shout out to Drake Lindsey, man. He's been playing really well. I do want to give him a shout out. I want to give him some flowers, man. He's playing really well. He's probably been Minnesota's best quarterback in quite some time. I think he's better than Kelly McManus when he was at Minnesota. I think he was better than Max Brosmer last year. I think he was better, honestly, than Tanner Morgan, man. Tanner Morgan had Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman, 2 NFL wide receivers. I don't know if anybody on this receiver core is going to the league this year. I like Javon Tracy. I like Brockington, but I don't know if those are league guys. So shout out Drake Lindsey, man. He's been doing excellent at Minnesota. We'll move on to Saturday's upsets. Now, when I say upset, because I know people want to say, well, Vanderbilt was favored by the books. That's not, in terms of college football, that's not what qualifies an upset when it comes to rankings. 17th ranked Vanderbilt upsets 10th ranked LSU at home. I've been saying it. I don't think LSU's top 10. I thought that they should be 15th. I would say anywhere between 13 to 20. I was saying that was a cool range for LSU because that defense is still elite. And the offense got to figure it out. But Vanderbilt handles business in another Diego Pavia performance, man. He's not going to get the best stats. He's not going to awe you in the stat sheet, but he's going to awe you with how he plays, the moxie, the determination, everything. Diego Pavia is just a gamer, and he showed up yet again. Vanderbilt will go on to score They will score a touchdown. I think they would score. Yeah, they would score 2 touchdowns. Go 14-10. LSU will score a field goal and a touchdown. Then Vandy, man. Well, let me say this: both teams were efficient on third downs. Vandy was 6 of 13, which is basically 50%, and LSU was 5 of 11, which is also basically 50%, basically around the same percentages. Vanderbilt though had 239 rushing yards. I talked about it on the show. Said they would have to figure out how to run the ball on this elite defense, and going for 240 on the ground is definitely figuring out how to run the ball against a defense like this. Well, LSU, I think they only had like 100 yards rushing. Still having issues consistently running the football. 100 as a team is not great. 100 as a player is good. As a team, not so much. Vanderbilt, out of halftime, did score a touchdown to go 24-13, which ended up being huge later on in the game because they were going to score one more touchdown after that. Honestly, in the fourth quarter, it did feel like the defense of Vanderbilt stepped up big. LSU, I think, had 2 opportunities to tie the game, and the defense stepped up and forced a punt. And then Pavia converts a big 3rd and 7 on the ground late game to ice the game. LSU had no more timeouts left. It was like a little over 240. So by the time Pavia hike, snap, there was a pass play. He scrambled, ran for a first. Did not score the touchdown. Had an easy touchdown, slid down. It was a 2-minute timeout. No timeout, so they could just take 3 knees and win the game. So shout out to the Vanderbilt Commodores becoming bowl eligible in 7 games, going 6-1 like I said they would Saturday. I thought they would become bowl eligible yet again. I'm so mad I didn't bet the over 5.5 win total that they had. I said it during Vanderbilt's preview. I thought it was disrespectful. I had them going 7-5. They blew that out the water. Or it looks like to blow that out the water, I should say. But Shout out to Vanderbilt for getting a dub. I did forget to put this comment. My brother said I was that's crazy hate about what I was saying about Ohio State. Absolutely, for sure. I'm a Michigan State fan, bro. It is what it is. Next, we got again numerical upset because Georgia was favored in this by 6.5. I think it was 7.5. Georgia upsets Ole Miss on the road. No, at home. Excuse me. Georgia was at home. 43-35. Now, Ole Miss came out the hottest you could come out. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. Did not punt into the fourth quarter, which, however, became the only team to punt this game because Georgia did not. I talk about Ole Miss coming out hot. Georgia didn't punt at all. Georgia scored on every drive of the ball game. Every drive. Did not punt once. They did kick some field goals. I can't say they ain't kicking no field goals. They did do that. But they scored on every single drive, and that is the difference in the ball game. Ole Miss in the fourth quarter had punt 2 to 3 times, I believe. No, I think they punted twice and then 2 turnover on downs. Ole Miss in the fourth quarter only gained 13 yards all quarter of total offense. Georgia, I don't know. They figured it out. I mean, they did send some heat a little bit at Trinidad, got him off some of his spots. He was a little inaccurate. But that fourth quarter, man, Georgia just showed championship DNA. Kirby Smart and the coaching staff, I guess, figured it out. And hey, Lane Kiffin, their first loss of the year at home, 43-35. The game was explosive offensively, though. It really was. It just Georgia figured it out. Ole Miss blinked first. Georgia didn't blink, scored every drive. Ole Miss punted, and that was your ball game. It did feel like to me while watching the game that I thought Ole Miss might figure it out. I was like, all right, cool. They punted once, cool, whatever. I didn't feel like they was going to get stopped. I'm like, all right, cool. Offense been doing good so far. They might score again. No, did not happen. So great win for the Georgia Bulldogs over Ole Miss. Definitely a much needed win for them in Georgia. I mean, Ole Miss still cannot win in Athens, Georgia, and it was also a good little revenge for last year because Ole Miss did that to them last year. But we move on to Memphis. 22nd ranked Memphis takes a loss to UAB. Trent Dilfer is now fired coming into this game. First game under new interim head coach. I can't remember who it is. And UAB gets the upset 31-24. And shout out Iverson Hooks. He's definitely on major performance. What a game. I'm not going to say his stat sheet right now because I want him to have his moment later. But what a game by him, including that touchdown right before the half. Perfectly placed ball. What a catch. Right before they had to put UAB up 17-14 before half. But UAB also struck first in this game, but Memphis were going to respond. But the second half, man, second half was also crazy. UAB would start the second half with a huge with a touchdown. But I want to talk about the end of the game because UAB went up, I believe it was 24-14, something like that. Then it ended up being, I want to say 31-17 before Memphis scored again. Or it was because Memphis kicked the field goal somehow. But Memphis, we'll talk about the last drive. That's what I want to talk about. The last drive, Memphis is going to tie the game. DeSoris breaks a long run. It looks like he's going to score. It looks like he does score. But the UAB defense gets him down at the 1-yard line. And that ended up being the possibly game save because they could still, if they didn't go for 2, they still could have won in overtime. But we'll say game save with touchdown because he's down at the 1, and instantly Memphis gets a false start. I mean, instantly, first to go from the 1 turns, first to go to the 6. They get down to the 1 again, false start. So they get down to a 4th and goal at the 6 because of a false start, and then they get a delay of game. A delay of game. It backs them up even more. Then it's an incomplete pass, which UAB takes over. Memphis has no timeouts, and they hold on to win. But it's just that little extra effort. It's just a game. To me, I wanted to talk about it because it shows how much football is a game of inches. If he didn't make that tackle, he's not down at that 1-yard line. Or let's just say he gave up, like, oh, he's going to score, whatever. We'll get the ball back. Who knows what happens? Or let's just say he keeps that. It'd be crazy. He probably would hurt himself trying to do this if he could have. Like, let's just say the knee, he hyperextended trying to keep it up, and he scores. New ball game. But the fact he was down at the 1-yard line ended up saving the day for the UAB upset. Shout out to them for that win. Shout out to Iverson Hooks for the game he had. Like I said, Joe gets your praise and major performances. we got to move on to the last upset I wanted to talk about, and that is Arizona State upsetting Texas Tech, 7th ranked Texas Tech at home, 26-22. And I don't know how many times I got to say it. Jordan Tyson is a baller. Jordan Tyson, I didn't know this until Sunday, flew Brandon Ayuk to the game to check him out against one of the best defenses in the country. And I got to say his stats here. Because like it just puts the context to the story. But he had 10 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown in front of Brandon Ayuk, who is an Arizona State alum, which is why he flew him out. But the balls to fly him out against one of the best defenses in the country, he said, hey, check me out this game, man. Let me show you what I'm about. Shout out to Jordan Tyson for backing that up. Sam Levitt did return for this game. He did not play the week prior against Utah, and that's why Utah whooped them. But Will Hammond steps in as the starting quarterback against Texas Tech this week, as Baron Morton was ruled out. And while I say this, Arizona State defense did a hell of a job quarters 1 through 3. But it just seemed like that fourth quarter, Texas Tech found something. I don't know what it is because, to be honest, it was nothing spectacular. But they went on to score 2 touchdowns to take the lead at 22-19 with the 2-point conversion by Will Hammond on the quarterback design run. But then a 4th down conversion by Sam Levitt to who else but Jordan Tyson put them in position for a Malik Brown touchdown in the 4th quarter, and they were going to win 26-22 as Texas Tech. I can't even remember Texas Tech getting the Hail Mary off. Maybe they did. I just don't remember if they did or not. But they were going to win 26-22. Now, I will say Arizona State caught a big interception off of receiver. I can't remember what receiver it was. I want to say it was Coy Eakin. He caught like a little drag and got popped, and the ball popped up. And Hughes came up with the interception. It was led to a touchdown for Arizona State because, to be honest, Texas Tech defense in the second half really stepped up. I mean, Texas Tech defense really played well the entirety of the game. They just gave up that game-losing drive in the 4th quarter, to be completely honest. But that could have been a tyrant thing, or maybe Arizona State just figured something out. But they really played well throughout the entirety of the game. So I do got to shout out Texas Tech defense. But yeah, Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson making late game plays yet again to secure yet another W. And I mean, to be honest, Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson only lost 1 game this year because, again, Jeff Sims was the quarterback last year for Utah. Before anybody tell me, oh, Arizona State got 2 losses. And that was honestly, that game they lost against Mississippi State was a blown assignment. Brendan Thompson running wide open in the secondary for a touchdown. Now, your offense in that Mississippi State game can't start off as slow as it did, but they came back. Busted coverage lost them that game. So, great win for Arizona State. Great win. They are currently now ranked again, which, I mean, after you beat the 7th ranked Texas Tech team, that would happen. And I'm not mad at it. I think Arizona State is a really good team. As for Texas Tech, it's one bad loss. It's one loss. I would say that. I don't think it's a bad loss losing to Arizona State on the road. It's a loss, but you can obviously bounce back from this. Now, the Big 12 is looking competitive. You got BYU, who we got to talk about. That's not an upset. That was an underdog, but that's not an upset. They're currently undefeated, like, period. They're currently undefeated. I know Iowa State got 2 losses in Big 12 play. Arizona State only has 1 loss in Big 12 play, which they own the tiebreaker over Texas Tech right now. So right now, I think we're on a collision course. If everything goes out, they win out. I think we're on a collision course for BYU, Arizona State right now, which that's actually a game I would love to see defensively. I want to say, who else is atop the Big 12 right now? Houston. Houston is sitting pretty right now in the Big 12. Their only loss is to Texas Tech. So Texas Tech on the tiebreaker over them, but they're sitting pretty good. TCU, I believe, has 2 losses in the Big 12. I can't remember. I know one of them is Arizona State. Oh, the other one is K-State the week prior. So that's it. But yeah, I say all that to say the Big 12 is looking like a fight. It's a fight for the Big 12 right now. But that's all the upsets we have for y'all. And we're going to move on to notable games, which we got a lot of notable games as well. The first one I want to talk about is Georgia Tech getting the win as an underdog on the road against Duke. Now, I did pick Duke to win because I thought Duke would get that revenge at home. Defense, their Duke defense has been playing lights out, and Georgia Tech really don't like to, for whatever reason, wasn't letting Kings King really air the ball out. And I would say this, Duke's defense did do a great job. Georgia Tech didn't score a touchdown until, like, I believe the 3rd or 4th quarter. Now, Georgia Tech's defense scored a touchdown when Duke was on the 1-yard line, and they got a scoop and score, 95-yard scoop and score by Omar Daniels. But that was just honestly, that was just a bad, not a bad play call, but bad execution. I think Darian Minster tried to hand the ball off. The ball was dropped, and Omar Daniels, Johnny on the spot, took it to the crib, 95 yards. But that was the only touchdown for a long while that Georgia Tech had. And Duke at one point, I believe, took the lead 10-7. But then to me, from what I was watching, it looked like Coach Key was like, all right, let Haynes King throw the ball. And they were moving the ball really, really effectively with Haynes King throwing the ball. I don't know why. To me, it just felt like they won't let him push the ball down the field. But when he was against Duke, it was effective. Let him throw the ball down the field. I don't know if they don't trust their weapons. I don't know what it is. But I've been saying it for some time. They need to let him push the ball down the field. They went on to score 2 touchdowns late. They were getting stops on defense, and they were going to win 27-18. It was a great game, man. It was definitely a great game. The Georgia Tech fourth quarter touchdown led them go up 20-10. Then they got like a turnover on downs and went up 27-10. Before Duke. Oh, no, it wasn't a turnover down. They missed a field goal. And then they would score again, and then Duke scores a late game touchdown in 2. But ultimately, Georgia Tech wins it. Georgia Tech, I believe, is now in the top 10, which I'm not surprised. And I'm actually happy for because, 1, I love Coach Keys. That's why I got the Georgia Tech shirt. And 2, I was high on them coming to the season. So, definitely happy for them boys. Next, we got Arizona at Houston. Now, I did pick Houston to win this matchup. And Houston won 31-28. It was a fun game, though. It was a hell of a game. Both teams started off with touchdowns. Arizona were going to score again before Houston blinked first, not getting a touchdown. But they ultimately would get some stops to tie the game at 14-14. Then Arizona would get a turnover on downs, which would lead to Houston taking the lead before half, 21-14. Dean Connors and Connor Wakeman both had phenomenal games. Amari Thomas had a good game, too. 2 touchdowns on the day for him. But here's what, to me, helped Houston ice it. Houston went on a 9-minute and some change drive to start the second half and scored a touchdown. That was huge. To go up 2 possessions and take 9 minutes off the clock in a quarter, that was huge. Arizona would go on a 6-minute drive of their own for a touchdown before getting the ball back and scoring again. I think they got the ball. Yeah, Houston missed a field goal. Arizona got the ball from that and went and scored. But then Houston would take the rest of the clock and kick a field goal. And that 9-minute drive, to me, is attributed to that. They would take the rest of the clock, kick the game, win a field goal, and win at home 31-28. Shout out Coach Willie Fritz and the Houston Cougars. They are also bowl eligible in 7 games. Man, just shout out to them, man. I'm so happy to see him succeed at the University of Houston. I've liked Houston for a little minute. I mean, when they had Derek King, I liked Houston. I liked Houston when they had Clayton Tune. And my boy Marcus Jones. He was a playmaker on both sides of the ball. So I'm happy to see Houston doing well. I'm forgetting it's something Stevenson. I want to say it's Marcus Stevenson who played receiver, but I can't remember his first name. But he was electric at Houston. So yeah, shout out to Houston, great win, and we'll move on to Baylor at TCU. Yeah, I got a lot of Big 12, man. It seems like I know, but those are like I said, a ton of teams fighting for the Big 12, man. These are notable games. And Baylor were going to lose on the road against TCU. I did pick TCU to win this game, 42-36. Now, TCU jumped out 28-10 at one point. It was a big lead. I believe that was going into half. TCU was up into a big all the way until the 28 came after the end of not at the end to start the second half. But TCU was up big. I think they were up like 35-21, and then there was like a weather delay, a long weather delay. This game didn't finish till like 6:00. And it started at noon because of the weather delay. And Baylor was looking like they were coming back. They would score. They would get the ball back. But I think a pick 6 occurred to put K-State up 29-42. Then Baylor would score again. They actually would get the onside kick. They would get the onside kick to have a chance to take the lead late in the game, like super late. But then Sawyer Robertson throws a pick for TCU to seal it. And TCU were going to win 42-36. Great win for TCU, who honestly needed this game to stay in contention for a Big 12 opportunity, Big 12 championship opportunity. Again, they have 2 losses in the Big 12. I just can't remember who the second one is. I remember Arizona State. Oh, K-State. Arizona State and K-State, which K-State is a bad loss. You cannot. That was a loss that they could not have if they wanted a shot to compete for a Big 12 championship title. Not the way the Big 12 is this year. As for Baylor, they only have 2 losses on the Big 12 season as well. They lost to Arizona State and they lost to TCU. So this is huge for them. I likely want to say this puts them out of contention for a Big 12 championship title game. Oh, we still got Cincinnati. I didn't even talk about them. Cincinnati, I believe, was undefeated. So still got Cincinnati. So right now, excuse me, if we were to have a Big 12 championship game, we are looking for a collision course of BYU versus Cincinnati, two newcomers from the prior season. So that's insane. Well, they came in the Big 12. I just started like a mug. They came in the Big 12, I believe, in 2023. I want to say. I think this is both the teams' third year in the Big 12. So, yeah, that's huge for them. Another notable game we have three more notable games before we got games to mention. And yes, one of them is a Big 12 game. We have SEC, Tennessee 20 at 6th ranked Alabama 37. 11th ranked Tennessee does take that L to Bama on the road. And again, I keep saying, where are the Kalen DeBoer haters at now? I was a fan of the Kalen DeBoer hire. I'm gonna just keep saying it. A lot of people was out on Kalen DeBoer after the Florida State loss. I'm gonna just say, where you at now? Keep the same energy. Don't be a fan now. But great win for the Bama boys. This game turned on its head when Tennessee threw that pick six at the 1 yard line. That Joey Aguilar pick six was a backbreaker in that game. That put Bama up 23-7 at halftime. Also, another game-changing play was the Alabama safety. They got a safety against Tennessee to go up 9-7. That was huge, and I believe they scored right after that as well to go up 16-7. Those were two big plays that the defense put up 9 points in the second half. That was huge. Then Bama didn't start off super hot. They did start off with a touchdown, their first drive, which is what Bama's been doing all year, but they didn't go touchdown, field goal. They actually punted their next drive, but they did start the game with a touchdown, so that's big for them. That's what they normally do. Tennessee was going to score a second half touchdown to start the second half, but Bama would eventually push the lead up to 37-20, right? Now, this is what I want to talk about. Yes, I bet Tennessee plus 14.5, but this ain't just about that. This is football in general. I hate seeing bad football. Tennessee goes down into field goal range. It is 4th and 11. Why in the world are you going for this when you need 3 possessions anyway? You need a field goal. 4th and 11 against this defense with the limited space you have, because I want to say it was in the red zone, if not a little bit outside the red zone. This isn't an easy get. This isn't 4th and 11 at the 50 where you got 50 yards to play with. No. It's tougher to score here. It's tougher to convert. 4th and 11, you need a field goal anyway. Just take the field goal now. Go down 2 possessions. Try to get a stop, get the ball back, try to score, and kick an onside kick. But what does this fool Josh Heupel do? And let me make sure it's Josh Heupel, because for some reason sometimes I'll be confusing who the coach is now with who it was before, and then I'll be looking dumb. So I want to make sure, because I think it's actually Jeremy Pruitt. So I might have just screwed that up. So my fault if that's not you. No, this is Josh Heupel. I know it wasn't tripping. I think Jeremy Pruitt was before him. But anyway, Josh Heupel doesn't get it. Then he gets the ball back. You're down 17. Now you got to score touchdowns because, but anyway, let's just keep going. So then you get the ball back. I think it's 4th and goal or 4th and 3. And they're talking about going again. But they wasted timeout. They wasted timeout. Don't get it. I want to say it was 4th. They don't get it. Whatever they did, they wasted timeout. Don't get it. Now, Alabama got the ball back, still down up 17 because of these bad coaching decisions. They don't get a first down. However, they do take all your timeouts. And your only timeout, thankfully, in college football now, there's a 2-minute timeout because that was their last timeout they could use to stop the clock. Bama punched the ball back. Tennessee drives all the way to the 1 yard line. Now, for gamblers, this is for us. And Tennessee can't punch it in from the 1 yard line? Are you serious? And then on 3rd and goal from the 6, you ran the ball and ran the clock out. Like, gamblers, we're pissed. Now, for me, I was about to be pissed as hell. But hell's not a curse word, so don't be reporting me to jail. But I had the over in the New Mexico Nevada game, and thank God he missed the field goal to put that over in play. I caught at 48.5. He missed the field goal to put it at 49, and nobody scored at 22-24. So I slept like a baby after I found out that over was not going to hit. But man, Tennessee's coaching decision, I don't think that they would have won the game, but it would have been a little bit more competitive. It would have showed some, I want to say IQ, because that was just terrible IQ to not take that field goal on 4th and 11. That was not smart. So Tennessee takes it out of Alabama, and we move on to USC at Notre Dame. And Notre Dame will go on to win 34-24. Now, I did pick USC in this upset. And 20th ranked USC did lose to 13th ranked Notre Dame. The only solace I got out of this, because I'm not a Notre Dame fan at all, I actually dislike them, is that what I've been saying all year has been true. Notre Dame deserves to be ranked. As much as I dislike them boys, they deserve to be ranked. And this win shows it, because their only 2 losses yet again to a team who was ranked number 2, who's still in the top 10, even with that Louisville loss, and Texas A&M, who I believe is 3 now. So this shows that them boys deserve to be ranked. And all them people that was crying that Notre Dame is 0-2, but still ranked after playing 2 ranked opponents and becoming 0-2, are now quiet. But about the game. So USC, both teams actually were going to score touchdowns to start the game. USC scored first, Notre Dame answered. Then Jadarian Price to start the second quarter was huge. He was huge. He was he accounted for most of their drives to start the second quarter, or yards that drive to start the second quarter. And he scored. Jadarian Price was the one that scored too. So he was big that drive. USC later in the ball game would go up 24-21. But right after they went up 24-21, and this felt like a dagger, Jadarian Price would take the next kickoff to the crib. Just kick 6 right after USC went up 24-21. So Notre Dame goes up 27-24 because the kicker missed the extra point. Then I believe Mayava turns the ball over. I believe Notre Dame scores again off of the turnover. And USC is currently down 10. Somebody else would turn the ball over too. That's why I don't want to put on Mayava, because I think somebody fumbled too. I want to say the fumble happened and Mayava turned the ball over down 10. And then Notre Dame, just to show how much support believe in having a kicker, it's a 4th and 15 in a makeable field goal range. But because their kicker is missing extra points and they missed a field goal earlier, they went for it. They didn't get it. USC will go down, turn the ball over, and Notre Dame will hang on to a 10-point victory to win the game. This is a great win for Notre Dame. USC is a tough loss. It's not a bad loss. It's a tough loss. You obviously don't want to lose the rivalry game, the Battle of the Shillelagh, especially when you go up 24-21 at one point and then give up a kickoff right after. That's just a tough loss. But USC will bounce back from this. It's not a Big Ten loss. They only have one of those, I want to say. Now I can't even think about who they lost to. I know they lost to Notre Dame. They beat Michigan. They beat MSU. I can't remember USC's other loss, because they started off undefeated. I believe it was a non-conference schedule. The non-conference schedule wasn't that crazy. I can't remember the Big Ten team they lost to. I don't know. I'll look it up in a second. But yeah, they can bounce back from this. It's gonna be tough though, because Indiana and Ohio State are both undefeated. So it's gonna be tough. They're gonna need some help. But I don't think a Big Ten championship is out of reach. Title appearance is out of reach just yet. But we'll move on to the last notable game, the Holy War, where BYU beats Utah 24-21. It was Illinois. That's right. They lost to Illinois. But yeah, BYU beats Utah 24-21. 15th ranked BYU beats 23rd ranked Utah. Let me say their rankings. Now, this game, like I said it, man. Utah, they can score, but it does not look good against a good defense. And to be honest, it didn't look good all game. Now, both teams were super aggressive on offense. Both teams were going for it on 4th down and not getting it. So there is that. I mean, both teams did hit some big plays, but defenses will bow up. Now, here's the difference, though. BYU would get a huge field goal to in the half to go up 10-7. Utah did catch a pick on Barrett Bachmeier, but it was overturned by a defensive holding. That would have put them in really good scoring position. And Tanner Wall up 17-14 caught a big interception, which led to a big 3rd down touchdown by Barrett Bachmeier, taking the Utah defense in the end zone with him. He chugged them at least 7 yards. for the touchdown to go up 24-14. Then they would get a stop. But they did not convert on a third down that would have iced the game, late game. So Utah gets the ball back. They drive down the field, score a touchdown, 21-24. They had to go to the onside kick, no timeouts. It was like a minute 20 left or a minute left. And the onside kick didn't have enough distance. It would have so the BYU players obviously didn't go attack it. And the Utah player kicked it to go further, which is illegal touching, and BYU would get the football off the penalty. And they would need a game out and went 24-21. That was just a great game, though. That Tanner Wall interception was huge in that game. Like I said, Utah had a pick, but it was overturned by a penalty. BYU had a pick, and it was safe. No turn, no penalty, no nothing. So that was a big difference in the game. Bear Bachmeier and his offense just continues to put up enough points. And Chase Roberts did have a touchdown in this game. I don't want to call it a huge bounce back game, but he did bounce back from those drops against Arizona. Huge touchdown, contested catch for that touchdown by Chase Roberts. Like I said, man, he does it all. He just had a couple of drops against Arizona, but he'll be all right. And I want to say this. I do think Chase Roberts is a pro. I think he's an NFL guy, but I don't know if he'll really get a shot. But to me, Chase Roberts is an NFL guy. Now, we'll move on to games to mention before major performances. If I can find my mouse. Boom. So, games to mention, just want to give a little talking point about the game. I don't talk about them like I'm doing notable games or upsets. So, first game I want to mention, Washington loses to Michigan 24-7 on the road. And this game kind of went like the Wisconsin game. It was 7-7 throughout. Michigan makes a play defensively. They score off of the play defensively, and they blow the game open. So, I mean, the game kind of went how I said it should go, and Michigan wants to win, and I picked Michigan to win, so kudos. Tulane scores off of a late game crazy play to Shaz Preston to escape against Army 24-17. Next, Boise State could not be denied against UNLV. I did pick Boise State to win this game. This was, I think, in the preseason when I had UNLV's first loss. Maybe not. But they shut out UNLV until garbage time. In the second half, Anthony Calandria throws a late game pick six to Marion McCoy, and Boise State wins 56-31. Texas narrowly escapes Kentucky 16-13 in overtime to remain ranked. I don't think Texas should be ranked at all, to be honest. I'm sorry. Mizzou, 16th-ranked Mizzou in double overtime beats Auburn, as Auburn could not get any offense going in double overtime after Mizzou scores a touchdown to start the second overtime. 23-17. Yet again, Auburn just can't finish games. Texas A&M, they gave up a late game touchdown, but win 45-42 against Arkansas. And those are the games to mention. Now we move on to the last segment of the show, major performances, where I give people credit for the performances that they had during the week. And we have about, I want to say, anywhere between 25 and 30 names. So let's get to it. So the first name I got is from Conference USA. Touchdown. Cam Cook, running back, Jack State, 18 carries, 117 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Brody Foley, wide receiver, Tulsa, who had 6 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Anthony Smith, wide receiver, ECU. He had 4 catches, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. London Montgomery, running back, ECU, 16 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville, 9 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Malachi Tony, receiver, Miami, who had 9 catches, 135 yards. Darius Taylor, running back, Minnesota, 24 carries, 148 yards, and a touchdown against that Nebraska defense. Leland Smith, wide receiver, San Jose State, 4 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Kyrie Scholes, wide receiver, San Jose State, 7 catches, 104 yards. Anthony Garcia, wide receiver, Utah State, 3 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, 24 of 28, 332 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Indiana. Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State, 6 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Julian Sayin, quarterback, Ohio State, 36 of 42, 393 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Mike Washington Jr., running back, Arkansas, 16 carries, 147 yards. Omega Blake, wide receiver, Arkansas, 7 catches, 118 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, 10 catches, 105 yards and a touchdown. Noah Whittington, running back, Oregon, 11 carries, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper Bearcat, wide receiver, Duke, 13 catches, 172 yards. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame, 24 carries, 228 yards, and a touchdown, which is crazy to almost average 10 yards a carry with 24 carries. I did not mean to click that yet, so I'm going to let that go. Jadarian Price, running back, Notre Dame, 13 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown, which you might be saying, that's not phenomenal. That's not major, but he did have the kick return touchdown to go up as well. So shout out to him for that game. Iverson Hooks, wide receiver, UAB. Check this out. 11 catches, 172 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Iverson Hooks, man. Phenomenal game. Jordan Dwyer, wide receiver, TCU, 7 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Katron Allen, 28 carries, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Penn State running back. Wyatt Young, wide receiver, North Texas, 6 catches, 102 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dylan Riley, running back, Boise State, 15 carries, 201 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Hudson, wide receiver, 7 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown for SMU. And TJ Moore, wide receiver of Clemson, who had 5 catches, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the day for him. And that is the end of this week in college football. Like I said, stick around in the next hour 15, hour 20 minutes. We will have week 9, weekday Conference USA. We'll discuss Tuesday and Wednesday of the Conference USA matchups, pick a winner. And we will discuss poll talk in that episode as well. So just stick around. We'll be back. Also, we have the main show at 7 o'clock, and we have Unfazed at 9 o'clock. So just another big day of R2L up for you guys. Again, check the shorts out, please, and thank you for sure. And leave your comments, man. I like to hear what y'all think as well. So if y'all give me y'all opinions, I do respond. So I just like to, I like to hear other people's opinions on this college football thing. And college basketball is less than a month away. I believe college basketball starts on November 3rd. So we're almost on the full swings of CTC. Now, more college basketball content will probably start out mostly as shorts until the college football season is over. But last year, I didn't give y'all any college basketball content until college football was over. And I don't want to do that this year. I do want to change that. So y'all be on the lookout for some shorts about college basketball coming up. But yeah, man, I'm gone until about the next hour and some change. I hope to see you then, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.